Tony asked me if I'd write the forward for his book and supply him with one or two of the images, the kind of the archival images really, not none of the modern stuff.
I've been collecting Tony's replica bird eggs for 3 years now. I've amassed quite a collection and I bought his limited edition today. I'm delighted with his perfection. He's an incredible artist.
And do you collect books like this, or is this the first?
Yeah, I collect books on birds and have done for many, many years.
And how would you describe Tony as an artist?
Extraordinary. He's a genius. I've studied Sussex birds for 50 years, and at Kingley Vale and Westdean Woods and all sorts of nature reserves all along the South Down, and in Chichester Harbour. There's a huge wealth of birds here. It's one of the richest counties in the UK for birds. No wonder everybody wants to live here.
He came down and we did about 3-4 day photo shoots, because it takes quite a long time to take the eggs out of the drawers, to match them up ready for photographing and that, and then to photograph. The cameras all got to be set up. So we did that, and we've done enough now for about the first 4 volumes. So he's set up, but we got the small eggs to do.
I've noticed you bought 2 books. 2 books?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Tell me why you bought 2 books.
No, it's a very well-made book, and it's also a limit copy for only 100 copies then, so it will be maybe an attractive book after some years then, so it's just good to have one extra.
I didn't realise what a kind of wonderful place this would be. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I just thought I heard about this place, but I didn't realise it was quite like this.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
My father was interested in birds. I mean, he wrote 60 books, many of them about birds and animals. He wrote Tarka the Otter, and he wrote Sailor the Salmon, and Chak the One-Eyed, which was a one-eyed peregrine, which used to hunt off Lundy Island. And he forecast that peregrines would come back to cities and nest in the middle of London and on the spires of the cathedrals, which is what they have done.
I've written a lot of books on extinct birds and dodos and things like that. So I'm very interested in this kind of subject area.
When young lads some are interested in sort of cars, I was always interested in natural history. I was always out catching frogs and toads and birds' eggs, which we did in those days, and it just moved on from there.
Now tell me about Tony's book. Have you seen Tony's book?
Yes, I have. It's brilliant. It's lovely. I mean, it's the best. It's the best that it could possibly be. I mean, you know, this is the pinnacle of art. You couldn't make it any better.
Collecting these kind of books with natural history and stuff. So.
Have you come a long way today? It sounds like you might have done.
Yes, I am actually living in Sweden then, so I travel quite far. So,
Today?
yes, I already yesterday started to travel. So.
Very much admired the lovely eggs that he paints, and that was it really. I didn't realise just how good his book was going to be.
So you've seen his book?
Yeah, I just saw it tonight for the first time outside.
And how would you describe his book?
Well, you know, having written a number of natural history books, big illustrated books myself, I know the effort that goes into them. I mean, a lot of people start, but getting it over the finishing line is another matter. So I know first how much work went into that, and second how beautifully he's done it. I mean, he's a master at sort of production and those sort of technical standards. I sometimes ring him up these days for help. You know, what does this mean? What does that mean? He's really good at that. But yeah, I think his book is fantastic. Absolutely fabulous.
It's got not just the colours are right, obviously the shape is right of the egg, obviously, but the colours are right, and there's more than that. It's the jizz, what we used to call the jizz. It's just some little special element of feeling about that egg that you almost feel that you can pick it up and touch it and take it out like the first egg you ever saw when you were a child.
Were you expecting so many people here tonight? Or?
No, not really. He told me there were going to be a lot. I didn't disbelieve him, but I thought, well, I don't know, it's about eggs and natural history, you know. I mean, I did a book with David Attenborough about 2 years ago, and we only got about this many people in our launch, and that was with all the power and fame of David Attenborough, so I didn't really expect quite this, no. I think he's done brilliant with it.
So tell me about Tony's book. What do you think of his book?
It's a super book, yeah, he's very dedicated, you know. I've got the collection and he got the expertise to sort of do it. I put him in touch with a few people who can give him information that he required, so we use my eggs, my data, but his expertise and others, and it looks very, very good. Yeah.
A great deal in it about how eggs are made in the body of the bird. And this is all new to me. I mean, this is all scientific stuff which is completely new and fascinating.
How would you describe Tony and his art?
Yes, he's having a really sharp eye for details, really sharp, and he also has quite good knowledge about these subjects and so on, so he's a skillful man in my opinion.
I've come from Bognor Regis. I've known Tony forever. We grew up together, so very familiar with his talents, and great to see this and come along and support him.
Absolutely wonderful. It's an absolute treasure. Not only that, but it's such a good book that it will double in value in a year. My father had 100 copies of Tarka made for £3 each in 1928 because he couldn't sell it. Today each one is worth £3,000. Books are money. They're valuable. Invest in them now. Invest in them. You will never look back. is, as long as they are brilliant. Rubbish is not in it, but these are brilliant. This is a brilliant book, absolute treasure. And I've got a copy, and I just love it to bits. There it is.
There it is.
It's so beautifully made. It's absolutely perfect. All the iconic symbols of life, of all the different birds. And there he is, dear old Tony Ladd. He's an artist, and he deserves a large sale. If you don't buy this book, you're a fool. That's what I'd say.
Do you think there's anybody like him out there?
Not many, no, not many, certainly. You know, with the eggs that he makes and that, you know, it really is specialised. You know, I can look at the eggs which are in that those boxes that you've done and can't tell them from the real thing. So he knows what he's talking about, and he's good at what he does.
I've seen Tony's work. I've got a poster of his eggs on my office wall, and people take quite an interest in it.
If you were going to describe the book to someone who hasn't seen it yet, how would you describe the book?
I wouldn't say it's like a collector. Well, it looks basically like a top quality Victorian book, how they did it when, like, Frowalk did butterflies and sort of Seabone done his egg books. They were top quality for a very small minority of people who could afford it in those days. Tony's is more affordable to the layman, but it's that quality of book, you know, which you don't get now. You get like little books, handbooks of this and handbooks of that. This one's specialised, and I'm sure it'll only mature in value.
Always been interested in the birds. We used to go bird watching, etc. together, so something we've grown up with, but Tony's obviously taken it to the next level, which is a real passion.
And have you met Tony before?
Yeah, I met him actually. I didn't know who he was at the time. That's the Evolution auction a couple of years ago, and we were just chatting about different exhibits, like the different lots. And then when I got home, a couple of weeks later, his photo came up on his website, and I thought, that's the chap who I'd been buying the eggs off of, but I didn't know at the time, so it's strange.
Have you seen his book?
Yes.
Have you had a look?
Yeah, I've had a fun for it, but obviously happy to purchase one, the first of many. So really interesting. And there's an interesting print just in the first few pages that we've got a copy of back from 1983, which is fantastic. So to see how he's evolved, it's brilliant.